G'day guys, welcome back to the channel and to this review where I'm going to feature another piece from Spinnaker Watches. Now it's been a while since I last featured one. I'm not sure how long ago that was actually, but it has been quite a few months. So this is the first time I've had a Spinnaker on the channel for a while. This is a different box to what I'm used to. There used to be that white box with the sail at the top. Now this is I guess a deep blue type of color, so it's a little bit different. Let's get it open and see what they have presented this time. Okay, so there's the watch, a cushion to hold it and to take that apart. So this is the Spinnaker Croft Automatic. It is available for a sign up now in terms of the launch that they're going to do on this product. The launch site actually listed for 320 USD. I'm not sure if there's going to be any discount codes. I haven't been directly provided any, but take a look. I'll add it in the description if I found out anything after I've published this video. So as I understand it, this watch is made in honor of a US Navy dive instructor, Robert Croft, so Spinnaker Croft, who, back in the 1960s, in my understanding, he held the world record for free diving. And at that time, it was around the 200 feet mark. So there we have it. That's where the name comes from. Now, just a little couple things here in the box here. So that's actually just the tag, right, for the watch. And then interestingly, I'll just quickly sneak this into this review out of interest. So you can see the influencer guide for Instagram. And if you look at this, this is actually for AV8 watches, right? And it is an AV8 watch. So if there's any doubt that you had about the distribution of these watches, they come from the same Chinese distributor, right? AV8, Spinnaker, what have you. There's probably a few more under their banner there, including Ballast, a watch that I reviewed quite a while back. So there we have it. I'll just put that away now. So this particular watch, if you notice already, has a small seconds, and if you know your movements, I'll just show you the movement at the back here. This is the Miyota 8218, right? It's a Japanese movement. Obviously, it's a 21,600 beat per hour movement with 21 jewel on the specification, 40-hour reserve, and the 8218 as opposed to the 8215. The 8218 has a small second dial as implemented here that you can see, at about the 4:30 position. That's really where it is. It does have a quick set date right on that Cyclops window. I don't know if that's going to be able to be translated. There we go. You can see the date there on that Cyclops magnifier, manual winding, but it actually is a non-hacking movement in this case. Okay, so if I pull this out, you can see I'm adjusting the time now, but that small seconds dial, that's going to keep ticking along. So it's not hacking, just so you know. This case is 43 millimeters across in diameter. They actually say in the description, marine grade steel. I'm not sure what they are trying to convey with that. I guess it's a diver, but really in other information that I've seen, it is 316L steel, plain old 316L that is used in most watches these days, made of stainless steel. In this case, it's got this kind of dark gold tone, which is not too bad a look actually. And I'll go into that a little bit later into how I found it. It is 14.5 thick to the flat surface of the glass at the top there from the bottom. 22 millimeter lugs, which is I think appropriate for this size, and a lug-to-lug distance of 51 millimeters. The finishing, right, as I pan it around, you can see it's mostly brushed. Right, it's got polish at the back here, of course, but it's brushed on the case back. It's brushed on the side. It's brushed on the top of the lugs, but it does have this 45-degree bevel along the edge here, which is polished. And I think the finishing isn't bad. I gotta give it that. The finishing is reasonably sharp for a watch that really is a newcomer, a fairly micro company. What they've gone for, whatever factory they've put this in through, the finishing edges there, the sharpness is not too bad at all. I can say that about the Spinnaker watches, most of the ones that they have sent me. The display back that you can see already, right, that's going to be a mineral glass display back. So with that screw-in display back and screw-in crown, the rating is 115 meters for the water resistance. As you've seen the dial here, now let me just zoom in a bit. Right, you can see it's a bit of a kind of a matte textured brown dial, right? This is what they call a fumey dial or fume dial, meaning that there is a bit of a kind of burnt edge finishing around the outside here. You know, I think that's my understanding of fumey or fume. Correct me if I'm mistaken about that. I don't have a lot of direct information that I could found about what this particular dial style means and where it comes from. Now the markers are all applied, as well as I guess the little small dial there, and the word automatic kind of has a little bit of texture on it there, and they're filled with superluminova. They haven't stipulated exactly what superluminova it is, but it functions pretty well, and I'll put up a lume shot right here for you to take a look at how it looks when it's charged and lit up in the night in the dark room. Okay, the small seconds dial, if you can see it, let me see if I can actually convey that. Right, there's a bit of concentric texture on that, and that's not bad. There's quite a bit of detail on the dial there, as well as the Spinnaker logo. Nice and dark, not ostentatious at the 12 o'clock position there. That's kind of a bit of an applied logo there. Okay, so that's really a lot of the detail. Most of the detail on this watch focuses, I think, on the design of the dial here. The bezel, of course, is going to be unidirectional in this diver. It is 120 click, and it has, interestingly, a matte insert. At first, I wondered whether this was ceramic, but they have stated that this is actually aluminium. So it's a matte finish aluminium bezel insert. The glass is sapphire, with a Cyclops magnifier that you've already seen me point out. But interestingly, despite the fact that it has a flat top, right, let's see if I can get that showing, it's got this nicely curved edges here. And that's something I haven't quite seen before. Most of my sapphires I've seen are either flat or domed. This one kind of is flat and then curved at the side. So that's something a bit different. It does give it a bit of reflectivity and distortion on the edges there, as you can see me pan it around. So that's a nice little feature. That's not a bad little thing that they've done in going for this particular design. The band, I'm not too taken by. It's waterproof leather, right? Water resistant leather, hand stitched. They've said on the stitching, Spinnaker on that side there, with a steel buckle, which is in the same tone as the rest of the watch here, Spinnaker sign on the buckle there, right? So similar to many of the other watches that you may have seen me feature in the past. Not fantastic, right? I'll say a little bit more about that in a moment. So guys, what are the strengths here, right? I think the package is all right? You're getting that Miyota Japanese movement. You're getting finishing on the case, which is really not bad, right? It's actually quite hard to fault the finishing here. They've really gone to a factory that finishes the case pretty well. There's a little bit of a printed signage on the crown there for the Spinnaker sail, right? It's got sapphire, right? It's got that interestingly shaped sapphire. But is this package worth the 320? Maybe not. I'd probably be very reluctant to go for it. At around the 200 mark with a discount code, sure, maybe that's something that can be nicely considered by many people. 320 is pushing it, I think, personally for me, for this brand, which is relatively new and not, I guess, not in the consciousness of many watch collectors yet. Now, the gold tone, at first when I looked at it, I thought, wow, this is not my choice. I preferred the blue one. It does come in blue, black, and green versions, I think. And I would have preferred the blue one, but they sent me this gold one. And after a while, actually, it's grown on me a little bit. It's not too bad, and it does kind of stand out a little bit in the crowd, right? That color on my wrist, it's not too bad. I've actually grown to not mind that tone too much. So let's put it on for the wrist shot now. Okay, so there you have it. Spinnaker Croft Automatic, 43 millimeters across on my 17 centimeter wrist. It is a little bit on the large side, but if you can see, the lugs are still sitting within my wrist. I think it's okay. You know, certainly by strict rules, by my standards, I get away with it. And you can see that gold tone, it kind of does stand out against you know, backgrounds and against the skin there. So that hasn't been too bad. What has been things that are not so good? Well, I think I've mentioned the strap. The strap is pretty average. They've used this for many of their watches. I think the next step up they need to take is going for metal bracelets. Personally, that's how I feel about a watch brand improving and taking the next step. It's a lot more involvement to apply engineering into a metal bracelet and fit it to your watches. You know, a band is kind of like the easy way out in many ways, and in this case, it does feel like that. This is pretty average. You know, I would be very keen to quickly swap this out if I'm going to wear this watch for you know, long hours, long days on my wrist. And then the main thing I can say is that personally, I think the design is kind of uninspired. You know, disagree with me, please. You know, let me know what you think about this look and the look of Spinnaker watches. I think they have a certain theme going in their company, but they kind of just doesn't quite grab me. And many people I've shown Spinnaker watches to, they kind of look at it and you get this kind of meh expression. You know, that's the most common common response I get when I show Spinnaker watches to people that I had. You know, it's kind of like, yeah, it's a watch. So, you know, let me know what you think, guys. I'm very keen to hear how you feel about Spinnaker, particularly if you've gotten some of their pieces. Guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoy my videos, do consider subscribing. I put out new content every week, always aiming to be objective and unbiased as much as I can in subjects which I guess sometimes goes into subjectivity, but I try to be as objective as I can. Thank you again for watching, and as always, catch you next time.